Enjoy these clips from the Catholic Coffee Podcast. This is probably one of the first Easters that I would have known of in church history, anyway, the one that's been spoken about, where we actually haven't had a chance to get to Mass, to take part in the Eucharist and do what we need to do to remain Catholic, to be Catholic, and what is the core and the center of our Catholic faith. So let's have a look and see if you had a good Lent, and how to know if your Lent was good. So, well, let's see. Lent changed drastically, I think, with the lockdown. If we look at my Lent and what I did, so normally during Lent, I normally give up something quite personal, so I'll keep that to myself. The second thing I normally do is I try to be good to people. So I try to do a little bit of giving as well, and especially people who are underprivileged, people who've got less than I have, and people who are suffering. This Lent, though, for some unknown reason, I decided to join forces with my wife and give up Coca-Cola and chocolate, because I'm a bit of an addict of both. I love the sugar and the caffeine kick I get from Coke and chocolate. And so, we started our Lent off well by giving up chocolate and Coke. And we knew, though, that this coronavirus was busy brewing in the background. I've got some family overseas in Hong Kong, and he ended up traveling for the first 3 months of the year just to stay away from the Chinese area, from China, because of the virus that was coming out there. And so he traveled all over the world. He saw the Northern Lights. He did some amazing things. It was quite spectacular, the photos that he sent us. But we started our Lent quite well, giving up chocolate and giving up Coke, and we saw this coming. And then what happened? Our president announced that we're going into lockdown. Lent changed for me from that day on. In fact, I've got a Lenten group that meets once a week for dinner, and we have a dinner and reflections and prayers and whatnot. And one of the guys in the group said, he's really struggling now with this lockdown, and his Lent has just fallen apart and not gone so well. And I'd spoken to our parish priest about this as well, because my Lent fell apart too. And I said to our priest, what do we do? And he said, look, times are different. Times are tough at the moment. And so what I ended up doing is I said to this guy in this Lenten group who was complaining about his Lent falling apart, I said, look, we've all fathers, and we've got families to look after, and this Lent is very different. So it doesn't matter what you gave up. If you faltered at that, you know what? It's okay. I have too, and what I've decided for my Lent to do was to get my family through this situation. So that was the most important thing for me during this Lent. Quite a tricky one, though, because, you make these Lenten sacrifices and you want to stick to them so well and offer it up to God and whatnot, and then you get thrown a curveball. And this curveball was probably one of the biggest ones we've ever faced. And this brings us to how this year's Lenten sacrifice will have huge impact to people around the world. It's crazy what we've gone through. Businesses have failed, people have lost their jobs. But what this Lenten sacrifice has actually done is saved the lives of many people. Now, we know through this pandemic, many have died and many have suffered. But because of our sacrificial efforts in giving up our work, not going to work, staying at home, not seeing family, extended family, or fortunately I'm here with my family, where we're not seeing extended family. But what it has actually done is it has saved the lives of many people by flattening the curve. Now, there's many varying opinions on how this should be handled. And I think the truth is nobody really knows. And it's simply because this is the first time we're doing it. This is the first pandemic of our modern history. And we've just got to take it as it comes and hope we are doing the best thing. We don't know. And if we do the best thing, thanks be to God for that, but we don't know. So it's a really tricky one to get through. But I think, if we just look at this Lent and go, hey, it feels like this Lent has been extended. We've done the best we can, but what we have done has helped save lives. And I think that's what's important. So if we just keep focused, keep praying, and ask for this Lenten season, which is far more than 40 days now, to just pass, and to pass in a way that can keep the nation, the people, the world healthy, happy, and holy. If you enjoyed this clip from the Catholic Coffee Podcast, you will love the full podcast. Follow the link in the description and subscribe to the channel. Please like, share, and subscribe.